This video is sponsored by Async Art. Async Art is rare, programmable art running on a blockchain that's split into dynamic layers. These change over time, affecting the overall image. This means the art evolves, reacting to external data, whether that's the weather, the date, or even crypto prices. Two artworks worth highlighting are Micah Johnson's Sovereignty. This reacts to the date, and on the birthday of the two brothers in the artwork, it reveals a QR code allowing you to donate Bitcoin to them. The second piece is a collaboration between Trevor Jones and A Lot of Money called ETHBoy. You can check out all this groundbreaking programmable art at async.art. That is ASYNC.art. Thanks for the sponsorship. Hello and welcome to Blockchain Gaming World Daily with me, John Jordan. So the news we're looking at today is about Upland. So Upland is a game running on the EOS blockchain. It's a mobile kind of focus game. Really, you can there is a kind of web aspect to it that's mainly to do with kind of the trading side of things. You basically play the game via Android or iOS devices. And what's interesting about Upland is it's a Monopoly type game where you go in and you buy property in real life locations. So it started off in San Francisco. It's now opened up some stuff in Manhattan, in New York. But what's interesting, I think, more broadly speaking than the game itself, is how it's trying to kind of walk the line between, obviously it's a blockchain game, it's running on the EOS blockchain, but how it's trying to take the benefits of using blockchain, but not get kind of dragged down into the technicalities of how you use blockchain. And equally, it's pretty interesting that how it's looking to kind of walk the line of not necessarily legality, but thinking about legislation. It's a US-based company. It's a startup, raised a couple of $1 million in startup VC funding. Obviously, wants to raise a lot more. And unlike lots of blockchain companies, which are full of crypto enthusiasts and generally not so bothered about legal issues, and most of them are not based in the US, which has some quite strong not crypto laws, but quite strong kind of money laundering sort of money transfer laws. Anyway, generally people are being a bit more, many blockchain games are being a bit more aggressive about how they leverage this stuff, whereas Upland is being, it's an example of kind of taking it by the book. Anyway, so the key thing in this aspect is it's launching what it calls the beta of its property to USD. So in the game, at least at the moment, you go in and you can buy these properties and you use their in-game currency called UPX. That is a cryptocurrency running on the EOS blockchain. But it's kind of like a locked-in kind of currency. So you buy it using your kind of mobile app store kind of payment method. So if you're on if you use on iOS, you buy it as you would do any other in-app purchase. Same thing on Google Play. So you're basically buying it with your fiat currency, and then you get this UPX, and you can go and buy things in the game, and you get UPX in the game as kind of like a rental kind of fee. So you basically, that's how the economy works. But now for the first time they're doing this property to US dollar. So effectively we can think of this, at the moment it's US dollar. Most of the players I imagine are in the States, but we can imagine it being more generally a kind of a fiat cash out sort of thing. Now this is kind of interesting because obviously with crypto you can do this. In any crypto blockchain games, you can gain assets in the game, and then you can get them and whatever token it is, you can go and sell them on a exchange. If it's an Ethereum exchange, something like Uniswap, and then you can cash that out if you have a something, an account like Coinbase. If you have a centralized crypto exchange account that you've probably gone through, well, you most certainly will have gone through some sort of KYC to prove your identity. But because the way that Uplands is kind of has restricted the UPX, so it's not available on any exchanges. You can only get it through their app, through their game. That actually gives them the advantage in the sense that they have this now property to USD, so you can actually kind of go direct from in-game assets into fiat. So obviously you couldn't do that. Well, you could do that without blockchain. It'd be pretty complicated. But this is kind of, from the way they've set it up, they've actually got something quite elegant out of this. So the beta is that only 30 players will be able to start selling their properties directly for USD within the app. Obviously, this is kind of their long-term plan, that they want to be a metaverse, and they want to kind of blur the line between real and digital. And obviously, this is a beta. If it works well, as we assume it will, this will be a feature to come to all players in Upland. And this is kind of interesting. Obviously, there's more details we need to know. How, when you're selling your property for USD, how, in what wallet is that going into? How can you kind of exchange that? Can you, presumably you just can't use that in the game. You can exchange that out probably to, I would imagine, either you put your bank details in, or it exchanges back out to the card, or the debit card or the credit card which you have attached to your App Store account. But it is pretty interesting from that point of view. There's something else we can just go and have a quick look at. So just on the Upland website, which is upland.me, so I'm just going down to the FAQ. So as I said, UPX is the internal cryptocurrency. So if you look here, it says what I've just explained. It's a token running on the EOS blockchain, but it can only be used inside Upland, cannot be withdrawn. The reason they've done that is to avoid UPX being traded on external exchanges outside our control, and possibly being deemed a financial security. Actually, it's pretty unlikely that this would be deemed as a financial security. There's some very technical laws about what a security is, and nothing like UPX has been treated as a financial security. But obviously, the Upland team are being quite rigid on this, as we can say here. Maintaining compliance with the US regulations is one of our top priorities. But what is interesting because of this is it is using, it's partnered up with the creators of Second Life. So Linden Lab's been around for a long time. They're nothing to do with crypto. And they've got this new feature which is actually live now. This is a bit of an old FAQ. This is kind of fiat out. So this is what we were talking about before. So using this, you can sell your virtual properties. So you can sell them either for the currency in the game or for fiat. So at the moment, the beta is going to be on this just doing USD. And because the part of Linden Labs they are partnering with is already licensed in all 50 US states, that means any US users don't have any problems with it, and there's no legal issues here. So this is kind of interesting because it means that potentially people can be trading these in-game items, and there's the property in the game. There's also these kind of these NFTs, which are the game counters, which are kind of rare as well. And at the moment you can't trade them, but there's going to be trading around those sort of things as well. And there's going to be some quite deep economy features in the game, in terms of building businesses and renting stuff out and all this kind of stuff. But actually now we're seeing that all this activity in the game can be exchanged directly for fiat currency, and that's all legal above board. Obviously, you have to pay taxes on it. It's income. That's the case whether it's crypto or fiat, of course. But we can kind of start to see now how blockchain games, particularly ones that are using the blockchain but are using it in a slightly different way, are going to be quite attractive, I think, to a general audience. So you don't need to know anything about crypto. You don't set up a crypto wallet. You don't have to set up an EOS wallet or anything like this. It all happens for you. We now potentially have a game where you can buy and sell things and then just cash it out, which is always kind of the end goal, I think, for a lot of blockchain companies is do that seamlessly. Not worry about all the blockchain stuff, which we're all worried about at the moment, but to get into this kind of seamless situation where you have things in the game, you can sell them to people, and then you can cash it out for whatever currency you want to, your local currency. And we're seeing that with games like Axie Infinity, but people are jumping through various hoops to kind of get that stuff cashed out into. We've seen that particularly in the Philippines and other developing countries. There's some games in Indonesia doing similar sort of things. But it's good, it's good that we're seeing now quite quickly these things coming on, and this kind of idea of a play to earn, which I'm not massively a big fan of, but the simplicity of that, owning things in a game, them having real world value, and not have to worry about all this kind of boring crypto plumbing. That is a good thing. So we'll keep an eye on Upland. I think it is an interesting game. It's growing its audience, still pretty small as all these blockchain games are. So in terms of on-chain activity, we're seeing about 3,000 daily active unique wallets. Obviously, that's very small compared to any other game. if this sort of stuff takes off, this trading, then obviously we'll see that kind of jump. You know, it's inconceivable to me that some of these games won't have millions of players in the next few years. So that's what we're looking for. Thanks for watching the video. This is Blockchain Gaming World, where we spend our time looking at blockchain games. If you're into that, please do subscribe to the channel. We're very active in kind of covering this sort of stuff, so hopefully that's useful to you. But thanks for watching this video, and see you again soon.